Hi, so today I want to talk about emotions, emotional alchemy, and the shadow to you. So what are emotions? Emotions are energy in motion. And according to some studies, that's the good news, no emotion, good or bad, lasts more than 90 seconds. So what is emotional alchemy then? Emotional alchemy is a personal development and healing approach that focuses on transforming negative emotions into positive energy, clarity, and empowerment. So how can you actually alchemize emotions? It's a bit like turning emotional lead into gold, hence the term alchemy. We're turning lead into gold. So this actually believes, or this theory actually believes, that emotions are not problems to be suppressed, but rather messages and energy to work with. So basically, heavy emotions like fear, anger, anxiety, grief contain valuable informations about needs, boundaries, or unresolved traumatic experiences, patterns from the past, which we can work with and which we need to integrate. So emotional outbursts can either be a signal of unintegrated trauma or a shadow part of ourselves. Now let's talk about the shadow. What is the shadow actually? So when we talk about shadow, we refer to the unconscious hidden parts of ourselves, of our personality. Parts of us that we deny, reject, or are unaware of, often because as children we learned that these parts of ourselves are not socially acceptable or uncomfortable. These shadow parts can include emotions, personality traits, desires or impulses that we learned were unacceptable or unsafe to express as children. It also can contain heavy emotions like anger. These are also often suppressed, thus form part of our shadow. But it also can contain positive qualities of ourselves that we were discouraged or shamed for as children, such as confidence, creativity, sensuality, assertiveness. Many people even hide their power and potential just as much as their anger or fear because they want to stay safe and belong to a group of people. So they'd rather stay in hiding and not show their full potential. But the shadow, rather than disappearing, these shadow parts become unconscious and continue influencing our thoughts, our reactions, and our behavior from behind the scenes. So we can't get rid of them. The shadow develops as a natural part of socialization when we are children. We learn through lived experiences which behaviors bring us love, approval, belonging, and safety, and which bring us rejection and punishment and shaming. So to maintain connection with our caregivers and our social group, we push unacceptable parts of ourselves out of our awareness into the shadow. This process helps us to stay safe, survive, belong, but it also fragments our sense of self. So during childhood, we constantly receive feedback about what is good and what is bad and what we should hide and push away. It is like a child is told to express anger is wrong. They may learn to suppress it. Over time, suppressing these emotions creates a split between the social acceptable self and the hidden shadow self. Cultural norms, family expectation, traumatic experiences all shape what ends up in our shadow. And a sign that someone is acting from their shadow is normally when you have really strong emotional reactions, especially when they seem disproportional to the situation. This always is a signal that someone is activating their shadow. Another sign that someone is acting from their shadow is self-sabotaging, patterns of conflict in relationships, feeling triggered by traits in others that were strongly denied in oneself. Also points out that there's some shadow in play. And the shadow tends to reveal itself through emotional intensity and repetition. Also projecting onto others is a way of the shadow expressing itself. It normally happens when we unconsciously attribute our rejected traits or feelings to someone else. For example, a person who suppresses their own anger may frequently perceive others as hostile or aggressive. Projection also allows us to avoid facing uncomfortable truths about ourselves by seeing them in others instead. So the shadow plays a powerful role in attraction, conflicts, and emotional triggers. We are often drawn to people who embody shadow parts of ourselves, qualities about ourselves which we are suppressing or have disowned. At the same time, unresolved shadow can lead to misunderstanding, blame, repeated relationship patterns. So basically, many conflicts are less about the present situation and more about unintegrated aspects of ourselves being activated, the shadow being activated. And shadow integration means becoming aware of these hidden parts, accepting their existence, not denying them, not rejecting them, and learning to express them in a healthy, conscious way. It is not about acting out of impulse, but about acknowledging our full humanity, all parts of ourselves, even the shadow parts which we don't like. Integration leads to greater self-awareness, greater emotional regulation, and more authenticity. So you're more authentic because we're integrating all parts of ourselves. So shadow work is the practice of exploring, understanding, and integrating these hidden parts of ourselves. Facing and integrating helps us become more whole, more authentic, and emotionally free because we're not getting triggered all the time. So you can start shadow work with curiosity and self-compassion rather than judgment, and just start exploring yourself. Get curious about yourself. When do you get triggered? Why do you get triggered? Why do you think you get triggered? Is that a shadow part of myself? And how can I lovingly accept and invite the shadow part into my existence, integrating it and allowing it to be part of me? Thank you.